Greetings YouTubers, this is a lesson in luck and tenacity. Many moons ago, before I started my career as a stock photographer, I decided I wanted to go interrailing around Europe to take pictures of all the iconic images and cities from my portfolio. In the end, this seemed too daunting, and eventually I narrowed this down to just Italy. I planned to go to Pisa, Rome, Florence and Venice. It wasn't easy doing this on my own. While I was in Rome, on the last evening before I was to depart for Florence, I went to photograph St. Peter's Basilica. Two photographers had already set up just where I was planning to go. I started chatting to them. "Who are you shooting for?" I asked. They both replied, "Photo libraries." One of them for Tony Stone images. Wow, I thought. Wow. Not only are they shooting stock for photo libraries, but one of them is with the top photo library. At the time I felt like I was a chance meeting with your favourite pop star. We got chatting, and after the evening shoot we went for a pizza. Later swapping numbers, as I already planned to go on to Florence. When I got to Florence, it was raining. What have I done, I thought. I should have stayed in Rome with those photographers. After 4 days of rain, I decided with a heavy heart to go home, and I never got to visit Venice. A few months passed, and I went to photograph a power station in central England and bumped into one of the photographers there. Then again, a few weeks later, on location in London, I bumped into the same photographer with some of his friends, and they were all shooting stock. I couldn't believe the coincidence. What made it even more strange was that he lived 100 miles away from me. He then later said, "Would you like to go on a trip?" I was so excited. The first trip we went on was to Mallorca. Then after that, many more trips. In those days, I would go on a photography trip just to shoot stock. And in those days, you would make a healthy profit from my images. Sometimes images would pay for the trip in a few sales. I went to Egypt, New York, Morocco. Far more fun going on trips abroad with another photographer for company and ideas than alone in the city with days of rain, like when I was in Florence, which I found pretty soul-destroying. Throughout my career, I have shot concepts and travel, and certainly admit that my career was hugely influenced by a chance meeting. I may have succeeded anyway through sheer tenacity, but luck has also played a part. Knowing successful people early in my career certainly opened doors a lot quicker for me. He was my photographer at my wedding years later too. And years later we went back to Rome together, passing that bridge where we first crossed paths 10 years before. He has been a huge influence on me and a great company going on trips together. And from him I met many other like-minded photographers, going on trips, skiing and regularly meeting up, although nobody lives locally. We are all still in touch today, although much has changed in photography, all from a chance meeting on a bridge in Rome nearly 30 years ago.